Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda. Last week, one of the familiar faces from my childhood in the entertainment industry and television died, Michael Parkinson. Michael Parkinson was the guy who was the king of the chat shows. You know, when he would sit down and he would interview all these people, we were talking Muhammad Ali or whoever it was that he was interviewing. He had a way of just getting people to open up. You felt like he knew them. You felt like you were watching people who were friends talking between themselves. In 2016, Michael Parkinson came to Ireland and did a show, and he was interviewed for one of the Irish newspapers. And at that time, he was asked if he believed in God. He said he didn't believe in God, but he said he did pray. I've often thought that is one of the strangest positions I can see for anyone to take. If you don't believe in God, why would you pray? And you know what? I would have thought that Michael Parkinson, of all people, with the whole way that his interviews on his chat show were all about relationship and showing two people basically getting to know each other a bit better, just like when you talk to somebody, you want to find out a bit more about them. His whole career was built upon relationship. And the fact that then he would see praying as something that would have any benefit to when there was no relationship involved, because he didn't even believe in the person he's supposed to be praying to. That made no sense to me whatsoever. In fact, I think there's probably only one thing more foolish than not believing in God and praying, and that would be believing in God and not praying. Because if you really believe that God is there, and if you really believe that God is the creator of the universe, and if you really believe that God is who he says he is, and that he's all powerful and that he's loving, then why would you not pray? You know, why would you cut yourself off from that? So there's two positions which I find extremely contradictory and foolish. To not believe in God and to pray, or to believe in God and not pray. I believe most of the people that I'm talking to now are people who do believe in God, people who do have a faith in God. And if you have a faith in God, then you need to be in a relationship with God. And if you're in a relationship with God, you're going to want to communicate with God, which again brings us back to why prayer is so important. You know, I guess when you think back on it, Michael Parkinson was probably quite skilled at making it look like he had a relationship with people when he didn't really know them that well. I'm sure there were people that he had to interview because they were well known, and these were the big names that the BBC wanted him to interview. But I'm sure there were some people that he didn't really like at all, that he didn't have any rapport with at all, and he created the impression of having a relationship. Again, I can't think of anything more foolish than to create the impression of having a relationship with God, to try to tell other people that you've got a relationship with God, but not to enjoy and walk in that relationship itself. My prayer for my life is not only as a Christian would I believe in God and have faith in God, but that I will pray to God and spend time in his presence, but also that I will have a living relationship with him. Not something that's put on, not something to look good to others, but a real, living, vibrant relationship with the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings. I believe that's what each one of us as Christians should be walking in, and I pray that will be your portion today. Don't be like Michael Parkinson, who didn't believe in God yet prayed, but don't be like the person who believes in God but doesn't pray, and definitely don't be like the person who fakes a relationship with the Lord of Lords. God bless you. May you walk in his presence today. In Jesus' name, join us again tomorrow for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda.